I hope you have iced coffee. Let's talk. I'm back. I had a long break there. Which, if you're curious about it, I can talk about it at the end of this video, but for people that don't give a shit, fair. I'm gonna get into the video. Today we are talking about the Halloween trilogy. I just this past week rewatched those three, and I was like, man, I need to make a video on these because I have so many thoughts. Let's go into the first one. First one, I would give it a solid A- for the Halloween series. I quite liked the first one. It was very reminiscent of the very first Halloween movie, the 1978 version, and I loved that, like the little nods to the first film. I liked that they did a lot of the same from perspective shots that make you feel like you're watching through Michael's lens. So I did really like that, and I really liked that they kicked up the gore and horror in this new trilogy. Like, Michael went from, like, he's up here, supernatural, scary guy, to like, oh, he's up here, like, he is unstoppable. So I really liked that. It was very fun. And I did like some of the added humor. But can we talk about that? Can we talk about it? Because why is there so many, like, humorous scenes? Like, I just feel like the entire trilogy could have been cut down a lot and it would have been a lot better. Because there's a lot of comedic scenes where I'm like, okay, this is funny and I like it, but it doesn't feel like I'm watching a Halloween movie. It feels like I'm watching a Gen Z version of a Halloween movie, which I don't like. Because I'm like, yes, I like the modern take on it in some ways. I liked the updated camera work, the stylistic shots, the upgraded color grading. I liked the, improved, creepier Michael Myers mask. All of that, really liked. I just am like, why is there having to be humorous scenes that I just feel like are kind of pointless? Because it's like, especially Jamie Lee Curtis's, don't come for me about the names. I know her name is Lori. I don't remember nor care about her granddaughter's character in this trilogy. However, that girl, the granddaughter, her character was just not that likable to me. And there was just, like, a lot of humor scenes with her, like, boyfriend that I didn't give a shit about. And I just, like, I don't know. I get that they were also kind of trying to lean into the reminiscence of the first movie being about, like, stupid high schoolers, and, like, Michael attacking them. And, like, yeah, I liked that. But I also feel like some of the scenes were, like, a bit too comedic, where I'm like, can we get on with it? The one scene, and I apologize, I don't remember if it's Halloween or Halloween Kills, but the one scene that I really did love, and the comedic tones of it, was the boy being babysat by the, like, teenage girl. That scene was really funny, because yes, it's like a horror scene of Michael Myers coming to attack the babysitter and her boyfriend, and the kid is just, like, hilarious comedic relief for that scene. And that was a one where I was like, I really like the added comedy in this, because this kid is hilarious. So that scene I did like. And, like, overall, I would say first movie is like an A-. The second movie, I would honestly say an A. I know. But I'm not putting it in the perspective of like horror in general. I'm saying like within the Halloween franchise, there's a lot of movies in there and a lot that are not great. Let's be honest. And like these two movies, I think, were solid contenders. Like, you know, Halloween, the original, is always going to be at the top for me. I do not care. I love Halloween. I watch it every year on Halloween. It just gives such like comforting memories for me of being a kid and seeing it on TV on Halloween. And my mom would always not let me watch horror movies, but like I would sneakily watch them. And Halloween was the one where she's like, it's Halloween. You can watch it, I guess. Me as a young child, Halloween was my go-to. And so I have so much love for it. And the music, like the Halloween score, beautiful. Love it. Will always stand as like one of my favorite scores in all of cinema. But like probably my favorite in all of horror because it's just so iconic and it has that melancholy feeling to it. And it's also like there's so many renditions you can do of it, like especially in this trilogy there was so many different renditions and instruments that it was played on, and I'm just like I love it. I love that you could play around so much with it and it still has that same creepiness to it. So that I loved. I really liked the storyline of Laurie trying to trap Michael and like her never giving up on the idea of him still being out there while everybody else is like, girl, give it up. I think that the thing that I did not like, I guess, about the storyline was like I remember the one scene that Laurie attends this dinner with her granddaughter and her mom, or Laurie's daughter and granddaughter, and she like starts drinking and her daughter's like, Mom, and I'm just, and like she was like, this is why we don't invite you to things. And I'm just like watching that scene, like they're being so mean to her. Like I just am like, she went through extreme trauma, and yes, it's been a long time, so she's had a lot of time to process and move on, and I get that, but like I just felt like the relationships with the characters just didn't make a lot of sense. I think they just kind of hated on her a lot more than I think was would have been realistic, at least in my opinion. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that was my thoughts on that. And I also, I thought that the whole dynamic of like the granddaughter's little tweeny boyfriend cheating on her was so stupid and unnecessary. I just was like, I don't know. I don't care about the new characters. I think that's what it is. I'm here to see Laurie. I am not here to see any of you people. Like, there's just something about Laurie's granddaughter in this like trilogy, and I'm not just talking about the first movie. I'm talking about the second and the third, especially the third. She is so unlikable to me, and just very annoying and makes terrible choices, and then like blames everyone else around her for them. Just very annoying. So I didn't like those things about it. But the first two movies, I think, built up a good story. Even though, you know, like, of course, if I were making it, I would have done it slightly different. But, like, I think that they did a pretty good job at, like, bringing the franchise back. And I did really like, I guess, the direction that they went with, like, them trying to trap Michael. And Like, that was just very well thought out. And then the scenes where, like, Laurie's going through each of the rooms, and I can't think. She's having these walls come down to block off the rooms when she's, like, trying to find Michael in the house. And, like, it's just, like, she thought of everything, and I thought that was really cool. I think the second movie is where I both loved it and started to not like it. I liked that they brought back some characters from the first film. I think that it could have done with a lot less of the flashbacks. Like, I think that those were a bit unnecessary. And my biggest gripe with the second movie is the townspeople basically trapping this man that they think is Michael, but it's obviously not. And then they end up leading him to having to kill himself. And then it's like all metaphorical for like, oh, Michael is turning all of us evil. It was just a little too gimmicky to me, I think. If that were it, I'd be like, okay, I guess. Like, fine. I think my biggest issue is their excessive use of voiceovers and like narration. And this is like especially the second and third movie, as I will get to the third movie because that is a whole other piece of shit. It's just, stop leaning into voiceovers. Let the audience watch and receive. Like, it's just, anytime I see, like, narration or voiceovers in scenes like that where you're also watching things take place, the voiceover / narration is so absolutely unnecessary, and all it's really doing is, like, assuming that audiences are so stupid that they need to be told on top of seeing something. And so that I just really hated. Like, that bothered me so much, because they're showing this scene of the man that people think is Michael Myers, and he's like getting on a ledge to jump off of a windowsill, and like Laurie's giving a voiceover in the background, or I think it's like an off-screen dialogue, but it's so unnecessary, and she's like talking about evil and how it spreads and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of fucking obvious. Like, stuff like that really irks me, because I'm just like, stop assuming the audience is stupid. I hate movies that do that, because it's always excessive. Like, just take the voiceover off in post. You don't need it. And that's, we're gonna get to the third movie, but that's like my biggest note overall, is that it needed to be edited down a lot. And I think if they would have spent more time in post with these films, it would have been a lot better. My second note that is very minor, but kind of irritated me, was the scene where 3 girls are like in the back of a truck and they hear the fire trucks going past them, and Laurie's like, let him burn, let him burn. They cut off her line, and I'm just like, why'd you do that? Because I might be wrong, but if I remember correctly, in the original trailer that they released for that film, you could hear her scream completely, and it was so like gut-wrenching. So it pissed me off that they cut her off. Like, why'd you do that? It was unnecessary. Her scream was so good. Like, why? Because I'm just like, I could imagine the transition being so much better if they would have just let her scream. Because I'm like, okay, they're in a moving truck. They could have had her moving off, like the truck move off screen, and had a moving cut to the next shot. Like, it would have flowed so perfectly. They were just being lazy, and like, they had such bad pacing issues where some moments they were cutting, like that moment did not need to be cut down, but then there's other scenes that are absolutely pointless that I'm like, what? Why are we leaving this in here? This is literally just gaining runtime, and it's like a lot of them for characters that don't fucking matter. I don't know. Is that rude? You all matter, sweetie. I'm sorry. My next note. I did love the scene at the end of the second movie where Michael is faced with the entire, like, not the entire townspeople, but a huge group of them surrounding him and attacking him. I loved that scene because it just showed how absolutely unstoppable he is. However, I must note that that scene also pissed me off because it was very uncreative in some ways. Like, if you're watching the scene, a lot of them are singular close-up shots on Michael, which some of them I fucking loved. Like the slow motion shots of his like soulless eyes in the camera and like moving as he's like going to stab people. Those shots were so creepy and I fucking loved them. But what I did not love was the fact that like all of the kills, like he was one-on-oneing with everyone. And I'm just like, that's lazy. Get creative. And it was also like stabbing kills. Like I think there might have been 2 or something where he like slit someone's throat or something. But like the kills were so lazy. I'm like, all of these people are attacking him at once. And he's still having time to 1v1 each person. And all he's doing is the little stabby stab. Like, I maybe it's because I've watched too much Terrifier, but I'm just like, hey, if this was Art the Clown, this bitch would be having a whole lot more to do right now. Like, I just was like, where's the creativity in the kills? Like, Michael could be taking each of their weapons out of their hands and like, and he did that for like 2. But I'm like, these kills could be so unique. And some of them were just really lacking in that scene specifically. And my other note about that scene specifically is he's 1v1ing. What is everyone else doing? Because if he's taking a knife and like going to stab someone else and then turns to the next person and stabs someone else, are the rest of the people literally just fucking standing there? I don't buy it. I feel like it would have been so much more realistic and better if they would have amped the scene up and had him like mass killing people. Like, my partner, when we were watching it, was like, oh, he should have taken like an axe and just fucking like bludgeoned multiple people all at once. And like something like that would have been amazing. Or if he had a chainsaw. I know that's kind of taking from Friday the 13th, isn't it? Regardless, I think he could have had like some creativity with the weapons to take out multiple people at once, because I just didn't buy that he's able to sit there and just like grab the weapon, stab, stab. Like, and I love the close-up shots on him, but I'm like, this is not realistic, and it's also slowing down the adrenaline of the scene. Because I'm like, come on, like, what are the other people doing? Are they just standing there, like, waiting to die? Because that's lame. Like, that's not realistic. Like, it should have been a whole mob attacking him, and he's, like, having to kill multiple people at once. And, like, when he's going to kill someone being attacked by someone else, and like just having that scene more fleshed out, I think would have made it so much better, because I wanted to love that scene so much, and I do like it. I'm just like, come on, you could have done more with this. And the other scene that I liked was the firefighter scene when they're all like going up to Michael, like trying to fight him off as Michael's coming out of the burning house, and he just like murders all of them. But that scene also, I just was like, I know that he's superhuman, and like they're trying to show that like he's absolutely unstoppable. They could have at least put up a little bit of a fight. Like, it just, I don't know. Like, is Laurie really the only one that can, like, kind of fight with him? I don't buy that. I just don't buy that. And my note about bringing back some of the old cast, or the cast from the original one, I won't say old, they're not. But is that some of them didn't act the best. And I can't really... because I would have to watch it. Maybe it's not even their fault. Maybe the script was just kind of wonky for some of it, which I do think that some of the writing was like very sappy and performative. I guess that's the way that I will word that, is like a lot of the dialogue did not feel like something a real person would say. It felt very like written and performative. Especially when we get to talking about the third one. But in these first two as well, that kind of bothered me a bit, was I think that the writing could have been cleaned up more before filming. But you know, that's like a general Hollywood comment. So my final note of another thing that I loved, I did love the bathroom scene with the podcasters when they go to get an interview with Laurie, and then they go to a gas station and the female podcaster goes into the bathroom and Michael like comes in and attacks her, and then the guy podcaster comes in and starts attacking Michael. Like that scene was quite gory and I loved it. My only note it's just the stupidity of characters in these movies. My only note, the woman, and I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but I'm sure she was a beautiful woman. She has a perfect moment to escape, and she's just like crawling under the like stalls to get further away instead of climbing out and running the fuck away. Like, she could have gotten away because he's sitting there murdering the guy. She had ample amount of time to at least have tried to get away. I just was like, girl, what is this? I don't know. Some of the movie, I'm just like, it really felt like a lot of moments in all three of these movies were thought of, but then when it went into like filmmaking, nobody stood up and said, hey, maybe we should do something different because this isn't working. And yeah, that's like a gripe you can have with multiple horror movies. It's not a note for just these, but like, that's a big note for me. Was it all just yes men on the sets for these? Because somebody needed to be like, hey, this scene is corny. Hey, why is she not trying to escape? Like, I feel like you gotta have a person that can strongly critique on set to like call out the bullshit before it gets on screen and before critics start tearing it apart. But that's neither here nor there. That's my main notes on the first two. I did quite like them. I know I just criticized the shit out of them, but I did actually really enjoy the first two. Now, let's get to the third one. It was fucking garbage. That's my thought of the third one. Now let's reel that back in and get into why. So it starts out, we're 4 years later. A whole lot of the movie is Laurie's granddaughter trying to fuck this one dude. I'm sorry, but that's literally what she was just trying to do. Like, it was a whole love story thing, and I don't know if they were trying to go for like a Bonnie and Clyde vibe or some shit, but like, that was not even a horror movie. I would say the third movie was very much a like dark romance, romantic drama. I mean, yeah, at the end there's horror, but like the whole fucking fucking, like, beginning of the movie is just crap. A lot of the dialogue was so corny, especially the romantic interest character that ends up becoming Michael's apprentice. Like, that, was his name Corey? I'm gonna call him Corey because I think it was Corey, but it might not be. I don't know. He had terrible dialogue in a lot of these scenes. Also, can we talk about the fucking fact that the bullies in this movie were marching band kids? Really? Like, and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to I play violin. I was an orca dork, okay? I am not trying to be judgmental in that way. I too was an orca dork, okay? I get it. I get it. But you're not gonna tell me that the school bullies were the marching band kids. And then there's like one person that has a mullet and looks like a dweeb. And like, then there's this other chick that she might have a line or two, but it's just irrelevant. And then like, yeah, this one girl has a marching band uniform on in one of the scenes, and then the one guy I think has like a varsity jacket on, but it's like clearly not for sports. I just am like, I don't know if you guys are trying to like go outside of the box, but it's not. It's just so fucking unbelievable. Like, I'm not saying that they had to go for the cliche of like the jocks being the bullies. Like, I'm not saying that. They honestly could have gotten rid of that entire plot line and I would have been happy with that. But the fact that they go with the marching band people, I'm just like, really? These are the people that the main character is scared of? Like, what? It was so stupid. And the whole like, oh, Corey was babysitting and then the kid basically falls down a flight of stairs and dies, and like, yeah, there's a whole thing, but he didn't kill the kid. And then like the whole town hates him. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like, I'm sure the parents had a lot to do with that, of like spreading that he was the cause or whatever. But like, people are a little too obvious about it and like openly rude, where I'm like, that's not realistic. For example, if Ted Bundy were to be released, and obviously this is all not realistic, I know, but just to say, Ted Bundy's on the streets, do you think that people are really going to go up to him and like shit on him in public? Maybe if it's somebody that like is street smart and like knows how to fight and like has a weapon on them, like they don't give a shit about like hurting somebody's feelings. But I'm just like, the average person would see him and be like creeped the fuck out and leave immediately. Like, they would just avoid the shit out of him. And that's like what realistically would happen with this dude Corey. Nobody would actually be judging him, like being like bullying him out in the open. I don't buy that. These fucking bully kids, the marching band geeks, are really going up to him and like trying to bully him. I didn't buy that at all. No, these geeks would not be doing that. They'd probably be at their marching band practice and they might see him and avoid his ass. That's it. So unbelievable. And again, I did also bring up already Laurie's granddaughter in this movie. She's such a bitch in this movie. Like, so rude to Laurie because she's like angry at Laurie for causing her mom and dad to be killed and her boyfriend to be killed. And then like there's two different townspeople that come up to Laurie and like blame her for what happened. That is so fucking not realistic. Obviously she didn't do anything wrong. There was a murderer? Michael fucking Myers that they call the boogeyman, and you guys are like blaming Laurie for it. That was just so unbelievable to me. I don't buy it. I like that just entire storyline was so stupid to me. And then like Laurie's granddaughter, the entire movie is clearly just trying to get laid by Corey, and then oh, they end up having this like loving bond. But it was so stupid. I'm like, who is the cornball writing this? Because there's like a moment where he's like, I killed someone. And she's like, and she like walks with him. I get that he was referring to the child, but he didn't kill that kid, so that didn't even fucking make sense. But I'm just like, this is so unrealistic. No person would like be standing there and you're like, I killed someone, and you're just like, oh, that's so hot. Like, let's keep talking. No. Maybe a psychotic person. I don't know. I was just like, this is so unrealistic. I do not buy this at all. I really did not like her character in this movie specifically. I mean, all of the movies, she kind of irritated me, but specifically this third installment, she just wanted to get laid the whole movie. She didn't give a shit about her grandma. Her entire plot was just dumb in love. In love for what? You're clearly just trying to fuck. You don't know anything about this dude, and she's coming on to him so strong. No, you're supposed to be his nurse, like stitching him up, and you're like very, very harshly hitting on him. No mystery to be had there. It was just so absolutely unrealistic to me. That whole storyline was stupid. Corey had a lot of really corny dialogue. And then like they were like, let's get out of Haddonfield, let's run away together. I'm just like, this is so stupid. And then let's talk about fucking immortal Michael Myers. This immortal being that they have built up the entire franchise to be immortal, unstoppable, unkillable. You're telling me he needs an apprentice? That he needs somebody to bring him some kills to build up his strength again? That was so stupid. I'm sorry. That was the stupidest plot they could have went with. Having Corey being the main character and like developing into a serial killer. I'm sorry. Stupid plot line. Didn't buy it. It was boring. There was so much of this film that was boring. There was a scene of Laurie in the store talking to, I'm blanking on his name, but it was like a slight romantic interest that they introduced. He's been there the whole time throughout, even from the first movie, his character at least, but they have clearly like a romantic interest thing happening. And yeah, that's cute and all, sure. Like I would have been okay with that because I actually like Laurie's character. She's the one that I actually watched this for. But there's like a whole scene of them in a grocery store having a conversation, and I'm like, this is the longest fucking scene, and there's nothing happening. And there was just so much awkward tension between the two. Like, they were definitely trying to build it up, like, oh, they're like both interested in each other, but they're both shy. And it's like, cool. This is Halloween. Get into the horror. I don't care about them having a little, like, cute moment at the grocery store. That moment lasted several minutes and was absolutely pointless. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? That scene made me so mad. And that whole movie made me so mad because I'm like, you did a good job for the most part with the first two at bringing this back. And then the third movie, they clearly spent like 5 minutes on the script. You cannot tell me anymore. No. No. That dialogue was absolute garbage. Sorry. I'm not sorry. And like the writing was just so lazy and cliche, and it just felt so distant. Like the person that wrote the final film didn't even watch Halloween. Like it just felt so disconnected. And I'm like, is this seriously a Halloween movie? This is what we're doing? Like, it was just so stupid. And then, I made a note about this earlier, but the amount of fucking flashbacks and narration in this movie as well. Terrible. Get rid of it. It is filler. We don't need to be reminded what happened in the first two movies. People that are going to watch this remember and watch the first two movies. Or they'll watch the first two movies before going to see the third one. We do not need incessant flashbacks. They're unnecessary, and they're literally just there to take up runtime. That's all it is. If your writing isn't good enough to fill up a runtime, if your writing is not good enough for the audience to be engaged enough to know what's going on, that's a problem. You do not need flashbacks. And then like Laurie writing a book. I liked that. I'm like, okay, I could buy that. Like I could see her writing a book after her experience, sure. But the fact that they keep doing voiceovers of her, like, or I guess more of narration from the perspective of her writing this book, of like what's going on, was so absolutely unnecessary. Like, cause you're watching like what's happening, and she's like telling the story of what is happening currently, and I'm like, get the fuck rid of the narration. It is not necessary. We can see what is happening. This is not a book, this is a movie. I hate that. Movies do not need a ridiculous amount of narration. Show, don't tell. That drove me insane. I'm sorry. I'm getting so angry about this movie because I wanted to like it so bad. I love Halloween, and this was just such a fucking disappointment. With all of that said, I've said a lot regarding this third movie that I've hated. I'm sure I'm missing things because I did not like this at all. But the one thing I did like is that the townspeople all came together to properly dispose of Michael Myers, and they put him through a grinder. That, amazing, 10 out of 10. I think that was a great scene to close it out, because so much of the Halloween movies where you see like somebody stab Michael Myers and then they wonder how he gets back up, it's like, yeah, cut his head off, cut his limbs off, throw him in an incinerator and like literally have him burn to death, or put him in a meat grinder. Like, that's like the thoughts that, at least for me, were like flooding my mind for all of these movies, is like, you guys are not disposing of him properly. You need to make sure he is completely dead. And I really liked that they finally, for this film, did that. And like Laurie had her moment of like stabbing his hands into the countertops and like really getting to kill him finally, and like she slits his throat and his wrist, and I loved that scene because she's like finally taking control and finally makes sure that he is disposed of right. However, of course, with Laurie's narration at the end of the movie, they end it with her saying something along the lines of, evil does not die, it reshapes. Something like that. Which tells me that they're planning to eventually have somebody else be Michael Myers. Somebody else. Just like they have this new apprentice. Because evil doesn't die, it reshapes itself. And that's what pissed me off so much with this fucking Corey character. He is not Michael Myers. I don't care if he's wearing the mask. Michael Myers, yes, is a supernatural being. However, as far as we know within the franchise, at least as I've interpreted, he's only really immortal on Halloween night. The first film and even this new trilogy, they have him at a mental hospital. I bet if they were to throw his ass in a meat grinder, he probably would have died on another day that is not Halloween. Halloween is where he gets his like superhuman strength, his immortal abilities. He is Michael Myers. He is the child that grew up, the child that murdered his family, his sister. He is Michael Myers. He is super tall and he is super strong. And you're telling me that this Corey character is supposed to like take his place, or somebody else in the future is supposed to take the place just because they wear the mask? No! They do not have Michael Myers' past. Michael Myers is a person, not a thing. He is a person that has superhuman capabilities on Halloween night specifically. So I really hate that they were trying to take it into a direction where they could honestly milk the franchise for more money by eventually expanding what is Michael Myers and what is Halloween. And to me, like, just fucking make a new movie that is not attached. I hate that. Like, don't destroy a beautiful franchise. Like, why? And yes, I am taking this too seriously and I get it, but it pisses me off. They do it with every franchise. They milk it to the ground until it's absolutely dog shit and nobody is even going to see it anymore. And that's when they finally give up for like 5 years and then they try to jump back in again. And I know that they're going to release something when it's the, 2028. And then, again, in another decade, and another decade. Like, of course they're going to do a resurgence every, because it's going to be, like, what, the 50th anniversary? Am I getting that correctly? 1978? Yeah. It's going to be the 50th anniversary in 2028. So I'm like, of course they're going to do something. Like, somebody is. If it's not, John Carpenter's people, it's gonna be someone. And I just am like, please don't destroy it anymore. I really love Halloween, and this movie made me so angry. Because I hate the way that they tried to take it. Like, why? Okay, let's look up. I'm curious. Okay, so yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 40%. Yeah, I buy it. Makes sense. Has a 57% audience rating, which is not good. Not terrible. I've seen a lot worse, but like not good. And yeah, a lot of fans are disappointed by the way it concludes Michael Myers' gory saga. Because it did it. It's like, you have this absolutely shit movie, and then you just end Michael Myers' storyline completely. And then you try to backtrack with a fucking voiceover to like open it up. Really? No, I don't buy that. And I'm kind of curious if they're gonna try to do like a Terrifier 3 situation where like some chick gives birth to the next Michael Myers. You know, like you know, like when Terrifier, Art the Clown's head is like born out of Victoria, and there's the new Terrifier, the new Art the Clown, whatever. Ridiculous, but it was fun, you know. But this is Halloween. This is on a different level than Terrifier. I'm sorry, baby. I love you, but it is like he is iconic. He is the start of. I mean, yes, Halloween did not start the slasher genre, but I think that it was the major kickoff for the genre. It's what gave it like attention and inspired so many more. I'm sorry. I'm ranting so much. Overall, though, this final film, I'm gonna give it a D, honestly. Because it was dick. It was not good. It was so disappointing. It was so disappointing. And I'm honestly shocked that Jamie Lee Curtis signed on to this movie. Like, the first two, I totally get. Like, I thought that they were quite well done, even though, of course, I have criticism for them, too. But I can't believe that she signed on to this movie. Maybe she already had a contract with them and just had to fucking do it, but I'm just like, I cannot believe that she did this movie. Like, she's quite choosy now about the films she does, rightfully so. She's a very incredibly talented actress that has had so many years of experience. She doesn't need to do shit movies anymore. Like, she does not need to. Not that she ever did, but you know what I mean. Like, she's a very seasoned actress. She does not need to do shit movies. And so I'm honestly shocked that she read the script and was like, yeah, sign me up. Like, that shocks me, because I'm just like, even on paper, it's not good. Like, I cannot believe how terribly written this last film was. Such a disappointment. That's my thoughts on this trilogy. I hope that you all come back next week to watch my review on Weapons. I am really excited to see that. I am hopefully going to see it this weekend. But if not this weekend, I'm gonna go on Tuesday for my half-off ticket at Imagine and see it then. But I am looking forward to it, and I hope that it's good and not, you know, like a disappointment like this movie was. Anyways, if you stayed this long and you want to hear my spiel about life lately, hello. Here is our coffee chat. I got diagnosed with PCOS in 2020, which, if you don't know what that is, polycystic ovarian syndrome. I at the time weighed about 210 pounds, and I also, alongside with the PCOS, got diagnosed with insulin resistance, likely caused by PCOS. So I got put on metformin, which is often also given to diabetic patients, which has helped regulate my blood sugar and essentially help my body process insulin more properly, to the best of my knowledge. You know, some of this I don't fully completely understand, but I've done as much research as I can handle right now. But all of that is to say, I 2020 lost 80 pounds, 70, 80 pounds. I think my lowest I got down to was 134. And I was doing great for a while, and in the last few months I have been gaining weight extremely excessively. And I like have been trying very hard to not gain weight, like cutting out a lot of food, dieting, calorie cutting, going to the gym. It's been a lot. And my progress has been extremely slow, like a pound a month, and then I gain more. Like, it's up and down. I've been incredibly on and off depressed because of my hormones, which I got tested, and my hormones are extremely out of balance right now, which is explaining some of the likely weight gain. I also got put on antidepressants, which help me so much, so I don't want to get off of them, but I do think that those also have contributed to the weight gain. And I was taking a specific birth control that was also probably contributing to the weight gain. At least that's what my OBGYN thinks. But with all of that to say, I have not been doing very well, and I have not wanted to film myself because I do not like looking at myself in the camera. It makes me kind of sad because I feel like I look really fat right now and it's bothering me, which I don't want anybody to put that on themselves and be offended by what I just said. I have body dysmorphia. I am very harsh on myself. I would never judge somebody else for their weight. I don't give a shit. Like, I am very much a very positive person for other people and not for myself. So, I just wanted to make sure I clarify that when I say fat, I'm talking about myself. Please don't think that I'm an asshole. I am solely using that word against myself. But with that to say, I'm starting to feel better because I've been on new medications. I saw a dietitian and got on a specific eating plan. Because with PCOS, I don't break down carbs properly. I have to cut down carbs a lot. And I think that was also contributing to the weight gain, because I have stomach issues on top of everything else. And things that are bready, and just like grains and oats and things like that go well with my stomach. Whereas a lot of proteins and stuff hurt my stomach. So I've already had to be very selective about food, and now I'm changing my diet to eating very low carb, which does seem to be helping me, which I'm glad about. And I've also been going to the gym multiple days a week, which was hard at first, but I'm getting more comfortable with it, and I'm feeling better physically and mentally. So I'm finally making a video, and I'm back, and I do apologize that I left you all waiting. But I really appreciate anyone who stayed to listen to this. I appreciate the care, and yeah, I will be seeing you guys next week. Mwah.